Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kraaifontein Open tournament. This is a short and sweet game. I didn't even make a study out of it. Just one or two ideas I think are worth sharing. Exciting game. For white pieces, we have Vusimuzi, Mlahleki, and with the black pieces, Dr. Shabier, Bhawoodien. Okay, so let's dive into the game. As you can see, you can already see the results. Dr. Shabier, very good with his opening prep. But we have Vusi as well, young player, aspiring player, and also doing his homework. And he brings to the table the Scotch, and we have a trade, and then Bishop c4. In other words, playing the Scotch gambit, not going for this pawn immediately. Knight f6, and now we're looking at something that looks more like a two knights game. Castles, and now bishop c5, the Max Lang attack. So now we have the move e5. So the Max Lang, this is the position referred to, can come about in a different manner as well. Here we came to the position out of the Scotch, but it's also completely possible to get to this position after something like the two knights opening. So after we have something like bishop c4, knight f6, the two knights, d4, e takes d4 castles, and e5. So it's just a transposition of the opening. And obviously, I'm getting the feeling here Dr. Shabier wants this position. And okay, let's get to the main line. Here we are through the game. He wants this position. Black actually manages to get quite a tricky position in the main line. And the main line starts with d5. But it is possible for black to play knight g4. It's not too comfortable. I think white can play something like rook e1 just for now. And if black castles, or I don't know what the opening book says you should do, but I think one of the points is just that knight h6, and you're going to get these double pawns. It is playable apparently for black, but not recommended. So the main line is d5, and that's what we see in the game. And main line for white is actually to go into these complications, and e takes f6 is followed by d takes c4, and we get into a pretty tricky position. Rook e1 check, but this is all main line. Bishop e6, knight g5, going after this pinned knight, and now queen d5. Very important. Don't play queen takes f6 here. You might be tempted to, but there's this simple tactic. Knight takes f6, f takes a, and then queen h5 check, picking up this bishop. So it's not possible to take this pawn just yet. But queen d5, and the main line continues with knight c3, another move that seems invisible, but it works because the queen is actually not protected by this bishop, which is pinned. So you can develop a piece in the middle of the board, and knight e4 is then the knight's attacked because the queen moved now, and followed by castles. And this gives you a very complicated, tricky position, and I'm sure this is what the doctor wanted. He wanted to go into a very complex main line like this, and black's chances are pretty good. I like black's position over here. I would pick this any day, because like the g file is also going to open up, and you can have a lot of play. So a very aggressive player wants to go into this opening prep. But here Vusi decides not to. He plays a bit of a sideline, bishop e5, not going after this knight, but the doctor still in his own prep, and they actually go down the main line for a while, and we reach this position to queen e7 and knight to d2, where up till now, at this point, you can see Shabier hasn't been thinking. He's just been getting increment for each move he's made, while Vusi has been having a bit of a think. I'm not sure if it's just this last move, but here we get a feeling that they're moving out of opening preparation. This is still a decent move. The computer suggests black take this pawn on e5 now, but I can understand why you wouldn't want to in a practical game, because the position does simplify after knight 4 to f3, and you need to move the queen away now, and there's only really one good square that defends the bishop. So this is all pretty forcing, and after this trade, it feels like white's position is pretty simple. these double dot pawns aren't looking too fresh, and maybe you can do something with this knight. So I can understand why you don't want to go into an endgame so quickly, and it's giving black a bit of an edge because of the bishop, but I don't like working with these pawn structures. It feels like the knight can make a nice outpost. So in the game, instead, knight takes d2 was played in this position, and here it was just traded and castles. Up till now, both players have been playing fantastically accurate in opening prep, and we have rook a to e1 now, bringing this piece out of the corner. Not moving away the f pawn to the f rook to the e file, because you don't want to stop defending this f2 square. And yet again, Bhawoodien could have taken the e5 pawn, but didn't. Bishop e6, and we have bishop to g5. And here you can see as well the recommendation here is to play queen to c5 with a tempo against this knight. And let's say after queen c5, we can have something like c3, just defending the knight. And now rook f to e8, and black is doing perfectly fine. We can have bishop to f. Sorry, that was just my idea. You're going to see why I inserted this move right here. But something like bishop f6 doesn't blow open the king anymore, because you've moved the rook from the f file. So g takes f6 can just be followed by e takes f6, and the king is safe on h8. You've got pieces that can retreat a rook to h8. It's king h8. And as you can see, there's no big attack. So the idea of bishop f6 doesn't work in this line after queen to c5, not restricting the rook, and then followed by rook e8. But it's something important that needs to happen with the position. And so you need to get the queen and the rook some space so that you can finally protect your king, because bishop f6 is coming. And I think this is a thematic idea that we need to try and remember with the Max Lang attack, or positions looking like similar to this with the bishop on g5 with no knight around, no tempos to keep the knight away. And also a queen that's pretty active on d2, able to jump into the position. Because in the game, queen e8 was played. Not the best move, but this allows Vusi to play the following move, and I thought it was very cute and did the job, bishop f6. And how are you getting rid of this bishop? You can't play g6, because the queen just jumps into h6. And taking the bishop, you're going to walk into this tempo, your queen's under fire. So the move makes a lot of sense. In the game, king h8 was played, but the top recommendation here is just to play h6 and kind of forget about your problems and hope for a better day. But the computer still gives long lines in which white is still giving black loads of grief, and has this excellent bishop and active rook here. So it's a very tricky position to play after this bishop f6 move. Really just slaughtering black, the bishop right in front of this king. In the game, king h8 was played, but this is a huge blunder because of bishop takes g7 check, king takes, give another check and another one just to make sure the king is on g8, because you're bringing one final piece into the attack, and there's not much black can do here anymore. It's game over. King h8 was the blunder of the game, and there's not much to do anymore. Tries to play bishop to g4, but simply rook g3. That bishop's going away. And another cute find, knight f5. 3 pieces in the attack. We all know what that means. It's game over. Mate in 1 being threatened. You can't take the knight with the bishop. What can you do? You need to sack that queen. And after queen takes e5, Bhawoodien resigns the game, and Vusi wins a game in 22 moves. I'd say this is his little miniature in the Max Lang attack. A little Scotch Gambit line here. So be careful for the Scotch Gambit against this guy, and well, as well against Bhawoodien, because he's going to be prepping this line soon. Going to be a monster win when he returns to the board against an opponent in a line similar to this. In any case, I'm going to be returning to you guys with more Kraaifontein Open chess games. I thought this was a cute one to insert in between. I hope you guys like these games, and if you do, subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with them. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.